This week I've been living with this prototype 2024 Lexus GX 550 Premium. In this video we're going to be taking a look and seeing if the base model GX is worth it or if you should step up to the other models or just swing for a Toyota Land Cruiser. Pricing as tested is just about $66,000. The base price for the GX 550 Premium is about $63,000. So this one does have a couple options on it. I've been living with this all week. We'll look at the exterior, interior, and then we'll take it for a spin and I'll give you my impressions along the way. Now this GX 550 is finished in Nebula Gray Pearl. You get 20-inch wheels all the way around. You have a live axle out back, center locking differential, like the Toyota Land Cruiser. I think this looks very nice. Got a nice boxy look to it. Triple beam LED headlights as well. Signature wide Lexus grille. It does have the cold area package, so you do get headlight washers, heated windshield washer nozzles as well as part of that cold area package. Power folding mirrors, integrated turn signals in the mirrors. You have this nice LED light bar that runs across the back here. Power liftgate as well. The GX can tow 8,000 pounds. Back here, a lot of cargo room. The GX does get a third row. Pull these seat bottoms up and sit somebody back here pretty comfortably. I had a couple adults back here and they fit just fine. It is a little bit cramped. If you have some kids or if you have a couple adults that you just want to take around town, this is going to work for you. Pretty easy to fold down as well. You do get a 400 volt outlet here. A couple cup holders on each side with USB-C ports. It does come with a spare tire that is under here, so no worries there. Go ahead and check out this back seat here. Finished with this new luxe leatherette material. Back here you do get a couple map pockets, your climate controls for the zone back here, a couple USB-C ports, and a pull-down center armrest with a couple cup holders. You also get a sunroof up here as well. So unlike the Toyota Land Cruiser, I think you do get a little more foot room. My feet in the Land Cruiser were slammed up against the driver's seat and I couldn't move it around. And I think it had to do with the hybrid battery that was in the Land Cruiser. This does have a little bit of hump that comes up, but it doesn't impede my feet as much as the Land Cruiser did. And the center passenger here is a little bit more functional than the Land Cruiser as well. It is a little bit more livable in this back seat. It's nice and comfortable. You have slight stadium seating so where you can see over top of the driver just ever so slightly and you can lean back pretty far. To get into the third row, this just pops up very easily and you can just get in there very easily as well. A little step here. I wish the rear doors opened a little wider for easier installation of a child seat, but this isn't the worst. So under the hood of the GX 550 is a 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Makes about 349 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque, so it's a very torquey engine. Gets about 17-18 combined miles a gallon. So it's actually about as efficient as the 4-cylinder Land Cruiser. So this week I've been really enjoying this powertrain. We'll get into more of the driving characteristics as we go along the way. Up front here you do get heated and ventilated power seats. Very, very comfortable. No complaints at all with that. You don't have any memory functions, unfortunately, in the base model, so that's a little bit of a bummer. So up front here, you do get a 12.3-inch gauge cluster with a bunch of different screens you can customize. You can put any information that you want on it, pretty much, and you get this massive 14-inch infotainment. Now, this 14-inch infotainment is the standard Lexus Toyota infotainment that we've grown to know over the past few years now. Works well, mainly Android Auto, Apple CarPlay focused. Does have wireless Android Auto, does have wireless CarPlay, which is super nice. Down through here, you do get your dual zone automatic climate controls. I do wish these were physical buttons, but they are easy to access, clearly labeled. You at least do get a physical temperature control here. Down through here, you do get your drive mode select, a button to start in second gear to help with traction, low traction situations, your traction control button, your tow haul button, a 12-volt outlet, a couple USB-C ports, couple cup holders as well. Your four-wheel drive selector, this is a full-time four-wheel drive system, and you do have the center differential lock here as well. A place to put your phone, no wireless charger in here, which is actually pretty interesting. Then down through here, you do get a decent sized center console, decent sized glove box as well. A little bit of storage up here. auto-dimming rear view mirror with HomeLink, and an illuminated visor mirror. Over here on the left, you do get your parking sensor controls, your hatch controls, the AC inverter for the rear outlet. This steering wheel is power tilt and telescoping as well. overall, this interior is very, very nice. For this being a prototype, I haven't experienced any rattles at all this week, and everything in here is actually held up pretty nicely. This vehicle has almost 10,000 miles on it and 10,000 press car miles on it. So, you know, this thing's been put through the ringer with other journalists. Overall, it's pretty impressive how well this thing is put together. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and take this for a spin, and I'll give you my thoughts on what it's been like to live with along the way. No 360 reverse cam here, and the base model Lexus GX, which is kind of a bummer. You don't get a forward-facing camera to go over obstacles either. But, I mean, let's face it, the majority of the people that are going to buy these cars, even the Toyota Land Cruiser with all those off-road goodies, are just going to drive it on the street. Now, with the shape of this vehicle, you do get a lot of wind noise coming from the A-pillar here. But overall, road noise is kept to a minimum. It is an extremely windy day here in Northeast Ohio. We have 30-40 mile an hour wind gusts today because all these storms and a cold front blowing in. But overall, I can't complain. I think the most impressive aspect about this vehicle is the ride. This is hands down one of the best riding vehicles I have ever driven. It absorbs every single pothole, every single bump in the road with ease. There's no reverberations. There's no creaking plastic of interior bits when you go over bumps and stuff. This thing just handles everything like a Baja truck for the street. It's absolutely crazy just how cushy the suspension is. Now, that being said, it is a very soft suspension, so when you're turning around a corner or just doing this, there's quite a bit of body roll and lean. It is kind of funny because when you hit the gas or under hard braking situations, there is a lot of forward and backward lean. This thing has no problem getting up to speed. You get a few drive modes here. You do get normal, eco, and sport. All right, quick footnote here regarding the blank gauge cluster and the blank infotainment that you see here, and we'll see occasionally in the rest of the video. For some reason, Lexus displays do not jive well with my cameras. If I record in 60, 45, or 30 FPS, I get a flickery mess, and it's not good for you guys to watch. So I have to record in 50 FPS. And the consequences of that is the occasional blank line that goes across the displays. It doesn't look like that in real life. It's perfectly fine in real life, but it's the frame rate mismatch between the display and my camera. I apologize for that. Enjoy the rest of the video. All right, let's do a quick 0 to 60. We'll come to a complete stop here. We won't boost it this time, and floor it. Very, very quick. This is way better than the 4-cylinder that's in the Land Cruiser. I would just buy this strictly for the V6. That is awesome engine here. This week I have been averaging just about 19 miles a gallon, which actually is not bad. I wouldn't say it's efficient, but compared to like the Toyota Land Cruiser, I would just swing for this. You get this V6 that absolutely hauls, and it gets the same fuel economy as the Land Cruiser real world. I love it. You get traffic sign recognition in the gauge cluster and the heads-up display as well. Paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. Transmission does take its time shifting. It's definitely prioritized for a smooth, luxurious driving experience and not really tuned for, sporty shifts or anything, which I appreciate. The gears are really close ratio, as you can hear and see. Keeps it in the power band nicely to where it's just always building power. It doesn't really feel like it falls off flat on its face. One thing I will say is the gauge cluster is kind of hard to see in direct sunlight. I'm not sure if it's coming through on camera, but sometimes the numbers just almost completely disappear when it's in direct sunlight. So I wish that was a little bit brighter. This vehicle does come equipped with Lexus Safety System 3.0. You get your adaptive cruise control. Pretty easy to engage. You can change your following distance here. Choose if you want your lane centering on as well. I find it to work really well. I've used it on the highway several times this week. So with this Lexus Safety System 3.0, you do get proactive driving assist. And what that is it uses the cameras and the radar in the vehicle here, and it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it well, but a more advanced adaptive cruise control on all the time. You know, you could just drive around normally, but as soon as you let off the gas and if there's traffic in front of you, it will sense that there's a car in front of you and automatically just apply the brake. You can easily turn it off if you don't want something like that, just with the press of a menu there. It's pretty easy to get to, but I found it actually pretty nice to have this week. You get a driver attention monitor here. I found that a little buggy. I usually do in these Lexus Toyota products. Sometimes it thinks that I'm not looking at the road when I am, and it just beeps at me constantly. I don't know, maybe they'll iron that out with a software update sometime. See how it does in a passing situation here. We'll slow down to like 35. Transmission does take its sweet time to downshift, but once it does, absolutely hauls. I do find the transmission to be a little bit lazy at times, but it kind of just adds to the overall smooth, refined driving experience here. If I wanted a sport tuned transmission, I'd probably just flip it into sport or buy something else that's more sporty than this. Visibility, I think, is very good in this vehicle. Do get blind spot monitoring in the mirrors. The mirrors are a little bit narrow. I did find that to be a little challenging to kind of see traffic, you know, because they're just so teeny tiny. But you do have that blind spot monitoring to help you out with that. I like this vehicle so much, I think this might end up in the Paul's Place fleet at some point in my life. Especially this trim here. I don't even think I would opt for a higher trim. I think this is a pretty good value for the luxury SUV segment, especially for the third row luxury SUV segment. Check that out. Rainbow, that's pretty cool. That's never happened while I was filming a video before. I think between the Toyota Land Cruiser and this Lexus GX here, if you're going to buy something that you're literally going to be driving on asphalt. Hey buddy. Okay, just drive in the center of the road. Alright, obviously if you're going to be off-roading, I would probably swing for the Toyota Land Cruiser or the Overtrail trim of this. I have yet to test that. I'd like to test that sometime. But if you're just going to ride in something that's just, or if you're just going to be driving something that's just going to be on asphalt all the time, just get this. This is fine. This is awesome. I like to call this the poor man's G-Wagon because it turns a lot of heads. It sparks up conversations, you know, at the gas station and my coworkers at work, because I still work a 9-to-5 job. I think this is a very great vehicle. Even here in the base model, you do get automatic high beams and automatic wipers. I mean, overall, it's pretty well equipped. Hopefully, all the information in the video will help you make a decision of whether or not you think the base model is worth it over the other trims. All right, now it's time for the night sights and stereo system test, where I showcase what the stereo sounds like and put B-roll of what the vehicle looks like at night over top of the stereo system test. So let's go ahead and get started. This vehicle is equipped with just the base Lexus 10-speaker premium audio system. So let's go ahead and get started.
Going round and round in the same
the box, this is actually an A-tier sound system, in my opinion. It's very crisp. There's a very clear sound stage. I love the imaging all the way around. You can option the GX with a Mark Levinson, but this base sound system is just fine. All of my stereo system tests are with a flat EQ, so this is right what you get out of the box. For the price, it's definitely acceptable. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the 2024 Lexus GX 550 review. Thank you to Lexus for sending me this vehicle to film this week. Like I said, it has been a pleasure. Hopefully in this video I answered your question on whether or not the base model Lexus GX 550 is worth it over top of the other models, or even the Toyota Land Cruiser. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, this does have rear opening glass. I can't believe I missed that. I love that about this vehicle. My old Blazer had something like that. It's just so convenient to, you know, grab something out of the back without having to open the entire hatch. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And we'll go ahead and see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.